At first glance, this sounds ridiculous. How could $100 possibly be more powerful than $100,000? One is barely enough for a shopping trip, the other could buy a car, pay off debt, or make a down payment on a house. So clearly, $100,000 is more valuable, right? Not necessarily, because when it comes to building wealth, the amount of money often matters less than what the money represents. And that's why, for many people, $100 can be far more powerful than $100,000. Let me explain. Imagine someone hands you $100,000 tomorrow, no strings attached. What happens next? Most people immediately think their financial problems are solved. They feel rich, successful, secure. But history tells a different story. Lottery winners have lost millions. Professional athletes have gone bankrupt. People inherit fortunes and still end up broke. Why? Because money doesn't solve financial habits, it amplifies them. If someone has poor financial habits, more money simply gives them more opportunities to make bigger mistakes. Now let's look at the $100, not the amount itself, but the decision behind it. Imagine someone chooses to invest $100, then does it again next month, and the month after that, and the month after that. At first, nothing impressive happens. The amount feels small, almost insignificant. But something much more important is developing, a habit, and habits are what create wealth. Most people believe wealth starts with money. It doesn't. Wealth starts with behavior, because earning money is one skill, keeping money is another, growing money is another, and the people who master those skills eventually build wealth regardless of where they start. That's why a person who consistently invests $100 can often outperform someone who receives $100,000 and mismanages it. One has a system, the other only has money. Think about it this way. If I gave two people a fitness goal, one person gets the world's best gym membership, the other develops the habit of exercising every day. Who wins? Most likely the person with the habit, because tools don't create results, behavior does. Money works the same way. The habit of investing is more powerful than the amount invested, because habits scale. This is what makes the first $100 so important. It's not about the money, it's about identity. The moment you invest your first $100, you stop being someone who only spends money and start becoming someone who owns assets. That shift may seem small, but it changes everything. Because once people see themselves as investors, their decisions begin to change. They think differently, spend differently, plan differently, and over time, those small changes create massive results. The irony is that most people spend years waiting for a large amount of money before they start. They say, I'll invest when I have more, I'll start after my next raise, I'll begin once I'm making six figures. But wealth doesn't reward waiting, it rewards action. The person investing $100 today is often building a stronger financial future than the person planning to invest $100,000 someday, because someday rarely arrives. This is also where compounding becomes important. Compounding doesn't care how exciting your investment is. It doesn't care about your income. It doesn't care about your job title. It only cares about two things: time and consistency. The earlier you start, the more powerful compounding becomes, which means the habit of investing $100 today may ultimately be worth far more than a large amount invested years later, not because the amount is bigger, but because time had a chance to work. And here's something even more important. The first $100 teaches lessons that $100,000 cannot: patience, discipline, delayed gratification, long-term thinking, risk management. These are the skills that actually create wealth. Without them, money disappears. With them, money multiplies. That's why wealthy people often focus more on behavior than income, because behavior is what determines where income eventually goes. Look around. You'll find people earning extraordinary salaries who struggle financially, and you'll find people with modest incomes who steadily build wealth. The difference is rarely intelligence, it's rarely luck, and it's not always income. More often than not, it's habits. One group spends first and invests later. The other invests first and spends what's left. That simple difference creates completely different outcomes over decades. So why is $100 more powerful than $100,000? Because $100 can represent something money can't buy: a habit, a mindset, a system, a commitment to your future.
And those things are often worth far more than a large sum of money, because money comes and goes, but habits stay with you. And in the long run, the person with the right habits will almost always outperform the person with the right amount of money. The truth is, most people are looking for a financial breakthrough, a raise, a windfall, a lucky opportunity. But wealth is usually built much more quietly, through small actions repeated consistently, through habits that seem insignificant at first, through decisions that nobody notices. And sometimes, the most powerful financial decision you'll ever make isn't investing $100,000, it's investing your first $100. Because that first $100 isn't just an investment, it's proof that you've decided to start.